All right, and we are live. Welcome everyone to Infinite Galaxies Empire of the Dying Sun, episode 5, the final episode of season 1. And want to thank everybody who's been watching these videos all the way through. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I do want to give a shout out to the Gauntlet, who has provided us with a community, which has enabled us to find these great players. I highly recommend it. If you're not a member of the Gauntlet, you should consider joining. All right, so we've had some brief discussions about some advances that the ship and Plex got, Plex the robot. And so the ship is getting the ionic boosters, is that right? Okay. And then Plex got a +1 to Dex. So yeah. So that's where we're at. We do still have a milestone, an active milestone, which is Evade the Black Scorpion, which was introduced last time. Essentially, the idea is the characters are now they've got the artifacts in their possession, and we'll talk about what that means. They need to try to get away from these Black Scorpion guys, which appear to want to stop them. So right now, all the PCs that are non-robots are currently unconscious and in the astral plane, including also the NPC Z Safara, who's the Emperor's daughter. So what happened last time is that they found these giant crystals. When they touched them, they were essentially transported to this astral plane, and in so doing became the bearer of one of these artifacts. So there's a mind stone, a body stone, and a spirit stone. So you guys are in possession of those. The master of the vault, who was also in the astral plane, told you guys that if you take these to their home system, that an adept there could basically receive them, whatever that means. Some kind of ceremony would have to take place. And then you would have some kind of influence over them. And you also know, and you know this from talking to Z Safara before this, that there's different factions among the ancients. So some of them do want to destroy cause your stars to supernova, and some of them don't. So you have a couple options once you get to that point, but one option might be to convince the faction that's already kind of on your side to help you guys in some way. The other option might be to get the opposite guys to change their minds, the guys that want to supernova stuff. So not to that point yet, but just throwing that out there. That's kind of what we're looking at. So so when we left off last time, the characters, like I said, were unconscious except for Plex, who is a robot, and Valor, who will also not be here tonight. He is story-wise around, but since his player's not here, he's not going to be able to do like roll moves and stuff like that. So, there's a chance. Like last time we leaned on him a little bit. Yeah, last time we leaned on him a little bit to fix Plex, which is fine. I mean, that kind of stuff's okay. So we'll just have to see. And since he's the only other non-robot PC, we might need to use him to kind of communicate with the astral people if necessary. So in any event, so as we finished off last time, Plex and Valak were spiriting everybody out of the collapsing entrance to the vault. So we'll pick it up there. So Plex, you were told that there is a building called an Astrolab, which is supposed to be across the plaza from this vault. Looking across the plaza, you do see a building across the way from this vault.
That seems to be a good place to start.
Yeah. So do you want to run in there?
Yeah, as fast as I can.
Okay, sure. You get in there, no problem. Now, you do know that there are Black Scorpion guys running around somewhere. There were some in the vault, and the front, that upper chamber kind of collapsed. So it's not completely collapsed. Like you could go back in the vault if you really wanted to, which means some of them might also be able to get out, but they're not going to immediately be able to chase you. Now, you don't know if there's other Black Scorpion running around. There could be. You don't know if they all went in the vault or if some of them are, you just don't know. So, all right. So anyway, so you go into the Astrolab, and so you've got also Valeric is there carrying. I think he was carrying the Empress or the Empress daughter. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right.
Carrying Fabian and Victor.
Yeah. So you get into this structure. There's a little bit above ground, but you think most of it is below ground. So you see there's maybe like one story above ground, which is just kind of this bunker looking thing. You do notice that on the kind of the roof of this bunker looking thing is a dome. It's made out of, you don't know what's made of. Maybe glass or crystal, you're not sure, but there's this big dome on the top. It's kind of on the opposite side of where the entrance is. So you're gonna, unless you want to spend time looking at it, you just kind of see it as you're heading towards the building. If you go in, there's a big open doorway. There's nothing stopping you from going inside. And immediately there's basically stairs going down.
Okay. Is the doorway just open, or is it like door is long gone?
The door is gone.
Okay.
You assume there was a door at one time, but it's gone.
All right. Then I'll enter the building, and I guess down the stairs. Everything seems to be down here.
Yep. Okay. So you go down, and you notice once you start heading down the stairs, you can see this big room kind of open up in front of you. So what it looks like is this. Because you can see the kind of the other side of this big dome. So when you go in, there's this big like sphere that's made out of glass or crystal that's kind of in like it extends past the outside of this building. So if you imagine kind of a square building, right? Part of this globe or sphere goes outside of it, right? And part of it's inside. So as you're coming down the stairs, and this thing's big. This thing's like probably 50 feet across. It's big, right? So when you start descending, you see that this thing, this big globe, has all of these little points of light in it. And it seems random at first when you're looking at it, like it's decorative. But maybe it has some other purpose, you're not sure. And then if you keep going down the stairs, at the bottom is what looks like some rudimentary computer consoles that you don't immediately recognize because you haven't encountered this technology before. You assume this is ancient stuff. And then you hear some noises down here, but you don't. It sounds like people, but you don't see anybody.
All right. I think getting my friends back from Crystal Land should be my top priority here. So, yeah, they told me they are into another place, and I need to get them here in the Astral Lab. So I'll try to understand what's happening around me, what's the technology around me, if there's anything I can do to get them back.
Okay, so just as a reminder, what they told you before they went into the astral plane was that if you went to the astral lab, you'd be able to figure out where or how to get to the ancients' system.
Oh, okay.
Right? But they weren't able to give you specifics.
All right.
So you're here. You've done that part. Now you're like, well, okay.
Okay, I think we'll change the fact that I will try to understand this.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So we're going to use the understand mode.
No, it's a terrible idea for me.
But I'm going to give you, since Valeric's with you, I'm going to go ahead and say he's aiding you, so you can get a +1 from him.
Oh, that's great.
And that's kind of his bailiwick is technology. So.
So it's a flat roll, and I rolled an 8.
Okay. So on partial success, I chase something interesting, and it's up to you to make it useful. Okay. Well, looking at this big globe with all these little points of light in it, it seems pretty obvious to you when you take a look at it for a few moments that at least some of these correspond to stars in your home systems.
Okay.
But there are way more stars than you know about in this globe.
Okay.
Like we'll say there's, I don't know, 10 stars, 8 to 10 stars in your systems, and there's probably 50 in here. So there's way more than you are familiar with.
Okay. Okay, contact the ancient.
Valeric is going to go down and kind of start looking at these computer consoles because he thinks that's probably the most obvious thing to do. He tells you that they appear to have power, but he doesn't really know how they work yet.
All right.
So as the bearer of the Mind Stone, do I have any ability to determine what's going on in the surroundings and where my body is at?
Yeah, you know where your body is because before you were able to kind of interact with it to get it to kind of very
Animate.
Kind of, yeah. So yeah, you have an idea what's going on, but you don't have like precision. Like you know, okay, he's in the astrolab, and you're kind of getting impressions. Probably not from Plex because he's a robot, but from Valeric definitely.
So I'm hoping to be able to search the room myself and see if there's anything that I can communicate to Plex that can help him determine where to go and what to.
The problem with that is communicating with Plex. That is going to be tough. Okay, he robot. You could talk to Valeric though.
And there's another person that I might be able to talk. I'll try to hail the ship and check if Professor Amron is conscious.
Professor Amron, I think, is still unconscious because it was supposed to be 24 hours, and you guys have not been here that long.
Okay.
So I think he could be roused if you were in the ship, but I don't think he's going to respond if you try to hail the ship.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not leaving everybody that's unconscious here.
Unless you want to retroactively said you would have tried to wake him up. I don't know if that was something you would have thought to do.
I don't think it was something I would have necessarily thought to do, especially since I'm like, I've just had this crazy first time encounter with the paranormal.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. Okay, all right. So I'll say that you guys in the astral can try to communicate with Valeric is probably the easiest way to do it because you can do that telepathically. Although it's probably the only PC who can probably do that is Vector, just because Fabian doesn't really understand what's going on yet. So I think that's probably fair. But you guys can talk to each other, so I guess it's kind of elementary. Or anyway, yeah.
So I'm thinking of this room as some big device, and the understand move may be useful in getting some information about how this device might operate or how it might. And so I'm going to sort of spin around, float around, or omnisciently or whatever, detached, float around the room and see if there are things that I can put together.
Yeah, I think, okay, yeah, sure, we can do that.
And perhaps the mystical powers of the Mind Stone and me being fused together might give me some sort of enhanced understanding of the technology about.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Ooh. So 13.
Okay. So you get the feeling that.
So on a complete success, the information must also be useful to your current situation. The GM tells you something interesting about it, and on a complete success, it's also useful.
Right. Okay. So you feel like this whole thing is actually, when you get a chance to look closely, and actually Valeric would probably tell you guys this too, he can't figure out how to operate these what looks like computer terminals. And what you figure out is that you have to be psychically aware to do it. So basically what you do is you make the device do stuff with your mind. So you have to physically be there, like touching it and stuff, but you power it through your psychic ability. So all these ancients up here, as far as you can tell, have some psychic ability because everything you've run into so far interacts with sound and stuff. So, so you think that's what you have to do. So I think what you are able to determine is that if you're able to apply your psychic ability to these controls, you can make the device do stuff. And what it does is it is a navigation system. So it'll tell you how to get places. So these 50 stars or so that you can see in this globe are different stars in the universe that the ancients know about.
Okay. So can I touch? Since I can't touch it, though, I can't actually activate this thing. Is that right?
You can't. No, but you might be able to. Well, I mean, you've got a living person in the room.
Okay. Well, we'll use Valaric then, and have him try to manipulate it.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have any psychic ability, so when he touches it, nothing happens. Is the problem. Like he puts his hands on it as you tell him to do, and nothing's happening. And he's like, "Are you sure nothing's happening?"
So the only person with full-on psychic powers, I think, is Safara.
Yeah. Well, you and Sheer, but I mean, yeah.
So Fabian has touched the body stone.
Yes.
So maybe he can manifest a body.
Yeah, you don't know. He hasn't tried to do anything yet. So
Yeah. Well,
I can manifest a sort of a spectral image of myself.
Yeah, my very uneducated instinct would be to say that my powers would control people's bodies. I don't know if I'd be able to create a body from scratch on my own, but there's only one way to find out, I guess. What exactly were you trying to do, or are you just generally trying to find out what the body stone enables?
So what we're looking for is there are some consoles, and from the console we need somebody who has some psychic power to touch the consoles because Valaric is not psychically endowed, and I'm assuming that based on us having the power of the stone plus us, it makes us psychic. If we can somehow get a body who's psychic to touch the console, they should be able to control what's going on with the astrolab, which should be able to transport us somewhere. Is that how I understood?
Maybe. And that's your understanding. Yeah.
Sure. Well, maybe I'd be able to endow Valeric with some kind of psionic aura so that he could activate it. Not enough to give him actual powers, but maybe I can mess with his body enough, assuming that my understanding of how the body stone works is correct.
You have no idea. So you can try. You can try.
Yeah, I think I'll try that.
How about this? I was able to haphazardly control my body, my Varric's body. Maybe with your body stone, you could control your body much better.
My own body?
Yeah, your own body.
Oh, just animate it like a puppet master?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be more comfortable doing that than messing with Valeric's body.
Okay.
So, okay. It'll be just like moving in myself, except I'm not in myself.
Right.
I'll focus on my body, and I'll see if I'll try to get me get it. Can I move my right arm?
So I'm gonna have you roll with your wisdom to see if you can figure out how to do this. This is brand new to you.
All right. I generated a 10 total.
Beautiful. All right. So yeah, you get the sense that you are able to control your physical form to a certain degree. You don't have precise control, so like you couldn't say
pick a lock.
write something or yeah.
I
But
can't pick a lock
you can
now. So.
you can get your body to stand up and walk around and kind of moan and stuff. Like you can't really like talk really. I guess you can a little bit, but anyway, so you can do some stuff.
This is very creepy. As I say,
it's like you're a zombie. That's
right.
kind of how we described it last time. Yeah.
Except I'm
Space Ghoul.
Oh yeah. So also in the astral plane, we spoke with the master of the vault.
Yeah.
And the master of the vault said the artifacts are significant to the ancients, and an adept is an ancient who can release someone from bearing one of these artifacts. The master of the vault tells us that there is an ancient device located somewhere outside the vault. So that's where we're at, the astrolabe.
Yeah.
And was there any other details? Let's see.
I don't think he said anything else specifically. He said that in order for you to find out how to get to their system, you'd have to go to the astrolabe. No, I think that's about all I told you.
What was the name? What was the name of the thing we're looking for?
An adept is an ancient who can release someone from.
Okay.
Yeah, but you need to go to their home system to find this adept. So there's not any adepts here as far as that guy knows.
Okay.
So that's the issue. You have to figure out how to get to their system, and it's a system that's not going to be in your navigational systems because your people have never discovered it. So
yeah, but it's in the big sphere above us.
Well, you think it is, right? That would make sense. Yeah. Okay, right. So Flex, as all this stuff's going on, of course, you're not hearing any of this. You're just watching as Fabian's body kind of stands up.
Fabian,
have you seen? I can't remember. Did you ever see Vector do this?
I'm not sure.
I don't think you were in the. Yeah, you weren't there when this happened before. So what is Flex?
Fabian, what's happening?
Yeah, Fabian freaked out.
Why are you moving like this?
I did freak out. It's
communicate to Valeric and tell him that he's trying to.
Or you can do it
to activate the console.
Yeah, or you can do that. I mean, I think Fabian's probably really focused on trying to do what she's.
Yeah, so I communicate to Valeric to communicate to.
Okay.
All right.
So Plex, you are somewhat mollified for the moment, at least that that this isn't too weird. But you do. But Plex, you do hear some more movement from nearby. There's somebody moving around inside.
Since Valeric has the conduit thing going on, and I can absolutely do nothing, I will do my best to investigate the noise and protect everyone here.
All right. So why don't you do analyze? That would allow you to ask questions about your situation.
It's a good idea. Analyze wisdom, something I'm not terrible at.
All right, good.
But my dice are 5.
Okay. So you're looking around, and you notice that there are stairways going further down. So going out of this big room with all these weird devices in it, there's stairways going further down into who knows where. And you hear footsteps slowly coming up one of the set of stairs. And you hear a weird kind of a hissing, kind of a hissing noise.
Oh great. Those people.
Those people.
Those snaky people. Okay, I think if there's anything that needs to be happening, I'll rather it be away from everyone, so I'll go down.
Okay.
I'll just go down casually, say something like, sorry, this is a private meeting here. You cannot be here.
All right, so when you get closer to this opening where the stairs are, you can see a couple of these snake people that you saw before. And they're just kind of tentatively inching closer and closer to this room with the globe and stuff in it. So they're further down, kind of in the darkness, but you can see them. And when they see you, they start backing off down the stairs. But there's probably 3 or 4 of them just kind of down there. You're not sure what they're doing. It looked like they were sneaking up, but you caught them.
Okay. Hey, they have these crystal in their heads. They might be able to help. Hey, snake people! Wait a second, I need to talk to you. And I try to catch up to them.
Okay, so you run down the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So you run down the stairs, and they run away because they're frightened of you.
No.
But if you go down, there's like a landing, and then if you continue down the stairs, there's some kind of a very large room which you can't even see the whole thing. And there's a bunch of weird-looking equipment in here. Again, you're seeing this very quickly as you're kind of running down. And there's some kind of like nests or very crude living space for these snake people. So they look like they're making their home in this thing. It's very dark down here and pretty cold, and maybe they like that environment. You don't know. But anyway, so they just kind of retreat into this area and kind of hiss at you.
Okay.
But they're not being aggressive. They're more being like defensive.
Okay. I won't enter that room. I'll stay at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. Okay.
And like just wave them. Hey, I just want to talk.
You can see the little jewels on some of their heads are glowing.
Glowing.
Like intermittently, yeah.
Well, if they're any psychic like my friends in the nowhere lands, they might not even register me correctly. I got an idea. Was Fabian or Victor carrying any of those crystals?
Yeah, I think Vector had at least one, and Zisafara had one. And they each had one.
So I'll go back upstairs to get one.
Okay.
I have 2.
Okay. So I'll take one of Victor's.
Okay.
And if nothing's else happening, I will go back the stairs.
Stuff's happening, but it doesn't involve you. So
okay. Okay, perfect.
All right. They're all not even paying attention. They don't know what you're doing. So all right. So you go back down with the crystal.
The crystal. I look at it. I put the crystal on my forehead.
Okay. So they're all staring at you, and they're all there's like 4 or 5 of them, and all of their little gems in their foreheads are glowing consistently now. And you see the blue crystal that you're holding is like humming in your hand, like it's something's happening with it.
I wish I could do something with that. Is there any way I can try to interface with the crystal?
Not that
Plug
you know
some
of.
wire on it?
Not unless there's some kind of device down here that you could maybe plug it into that's electronic or something. But there are people upstairs who might be able to.
Yeah, I think they're busy gliding the astral plane.
And I have an idea for at some point whenever it's convenient.
Okay, well, yeah, let's do that. Let's look back.
Well, we can cut here.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
So the idea is, so it's body, mind, and soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if all 3 of us try to focus to create somebody in the real world, which is a sort of a Voltron concoction of all 3 of the stones together to form whatever, then maybe that can trigger the thing and send us to the...
Well, you've already... Okay, so Fabian has already gotten control of her body, but we haven't done anything with that yet. So do you want to try that first and see if that does anything?
Yeah, whatever. However.
Okay. But you could do that instead if you'd rather. That does sound kind of interesting.
Yeah. Wonder triplets activate.
Okay. Okay. So Z Safari is certainly willing to give it a go.
All right.
What about Fabian?
Are you saying we're going to try to create life?
So I'm thinking that it's sort of like all three of us, since it's body, mind, and soul stone, right?
Sure.
Maybe we can use the power of the stones to create some body, mind, and soul together, form an avatar that can do something on, I don't know. It's a possibility.
Okay. Well, like I said, Zustafar is on board.
Okay.
I'm not crazy about this, but we'll give it a try. I mean, biology is never my strong suit. But
It could
I'll
just
do it again.
scramble our brains too,
Oh,
There's
any of this could scramble our brains. Oh god. Okay, well, as reluctant as I am to play God, I figure at this point I'm willing to follow your lead.
Okay. All right. So I think what we want to do here is I'm going to have somebody roll, and then I think I'll have the other people aid you. So I feel like Vector should be the probably the lead on this, since he's kind of his. Not only is it his idea, but also he's the PC with actual psychic ability. So so it would be another wisdom roll, but you'll get aid from Z Safara and from Fabian. So it'll be +2.
Okay.
And this will basically be a defy danger, which we'll modify as needed.
7.
Okay. That's a good thing you got the bonuses.
Yep.
Okay. So you are able to create this shuddering hologram-ish looking thing that looks like an ancient. So it looks like one of those statues that you guys saw before, but it's smaller. So it's not as big as those statues. It's maybe 9 feet high instead of 15 feet high. But it's the same basic shape and stuff. And so Plex would probably see this too. That's what Valeric. So even though they're in they see this. So Plex, we'll say that you see this as you're kind of up the stairs trying to deal with this crystal. You're like, what? So all right, you've done that. You feel like you have very tentative control over this thing, though.
So we will all focus our minds and have this thing activate because this is sort of an ancient itself, so it should have some sort of understanding of what to do and how to activate the console.
Well, it's you guys, but it manifested in the form of an ancient. So it doesn't have an ancient's knowledge. It has your guys' knowledge.
So it isn't like a distinct being separate from us. It's just kind of like
It's a manifestation of your guys' like body, mind, spirit. So it is something physical, but it's going to disappear soon. So you'll have to do something with it quickly.
That's much easier to wrap my head around.
Okay.
So we'll try to move it to get the console up in operation.
Did Plex need to say something?
No, I'm just asking out loud. Who the hell is that thing?
Well, it can talk. So if you guys want to explain to Plex what's going on.
This is the avatar of our body, mind, and spirit stone, manifest from the astral psychic plane into reality as you know it. You're welcome.
Okay, so it's just you guys. All right.
Right. Everything's fine. It's just, yeah, totally weird. Okay.
Plex is perplexed.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So you guys are able to, yeah. So you can send this avatar over to the console and have it touch the console as you kind of understand this works, and you can send psionic power into the console, which when you do that, it causes it to kind of light up, and you see a bunch of symbols appear. So if you can imagine like these kind of LED looking, boxes or screens at various places, imagine kind of a horseshoe shaped, set of consoles. And so you're standing near one of them. The avatar's hands are on it, and it's just kind of this yellow, kind of whitish glow across all of these things as you do this, and appearing in little squares, which kind of look like buttons to you. Little squares all over the place on all of these screens are these symbols, and you're not sure what they are.
Do we have any sense of like any ancestral sense of what it is that these things might do?
No, but you have seen 3 of these before, because 3 of these symbols were carved into the big rough-hewn crystals that you touched to start this whole thing.
So we know that there's which ones are present, body, mind, or
all of them. There's dozens of these buttons all over these consoles.
Oh,
so
I see.
Some of them have that symbol and some don't. Some of them have other weird symbols that you haven't seen before.
Well, if there are the 3 symbols that we know, I don't know, touch those ones, see what happens.
Okay. You all kind of concur. Like, you're all controlling this thing, so
Yeah.
Z so far will go along with whatever you guys want to do because she's an NPC. But like, if Fabian has any thoughts about anything, you should probably no. All right. Eating chicken wings. All right. Okay. So are you going to hit them all at once or separately, or how do you want to do this?
Can we hit them all at once?
Yeah. Sure.
Sure. Let's give it a go.
Okay. So you just so what happens is when you do that, the globe kind of turns. You hear this kind of grinding noise as it kind of moves. It's not like super loud, but definitely some stone on stone kind of noises as this thing kind of moves around. And as it does, you'll notice that it kind of positions itself so that you can see a different kind of view of these star systems. And so there's some star system up there. You don't know what it is because you don't recognize any of these, but it did something.
Is there like a big enter button somewhere? Bink.
All these buttons look the same to you. They all have these symbols, and that's the only symbols that you recognized. And it did something. It caused the globe to turn.
Is it possible?
Oh, go ahead.
Would it be possible for Fabian to locate which of those representative lights would represent the system they're currently in?
Yes.
Given what she knows, remembers from the scan, and the fact that she's a pilot in general.
Yeah. You know where your home systems are, and then you know where Nirvana is, and you know. So if you watch this thing carefully as it turned, which I assume you did, you can see relationship-wise where this star system that it kind of is facing you guys right now, where it is in relationship to your home system. You can tell that. So Fabian, based on you being a pilot, you think that you probably have enough information now to try to get the Vespera to this place that it's showing you. You don't know if this is the place you want to go, but given what you have here, you think you could send your ship there.
Okay. That's excellent.
It'll be dicey because you're going somewhere you've never been, and
sure,
but you could try.
Yeah, I'll just try to memorize the coordinates in the path.
And remember, Plex also has like a robot brain. He can also record this if you guys,
Yeah, can we ask Plex to do that?
Yeah, I assume he'll do that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Plex, do you want to update them on anything that happened while they were busy doing this? Or, I don't know if the snake guys are not coming up the stairs. So if you don't want to, mess with them, then You don't need to.
Well, if they seem to be doing what they need to be doing, I'll leave the snake guys alone.
Okay. I mean, they're not bothering you. They're around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could potentially be a threat, but right now they're not.
Yeah, well, I'll leave them alone.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So what do you guys want to do? Yeah, they've asked the avatar thing talks to you and Plex and asks you to record this kind of view, of these stars. And you can do that.
Where we need to be going.
I mean, your database has no record of these stars.
My database has barely a record of my star.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of get the idea where your home systems are, and you're like, well, okay, this thing's like 47 light years from one of our systems, but that's about all you know.
All right. Okay, so information recorded.
Is there any way of? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
is there any way of does it indicate in any way where there may be planets?
No. This thing's very basic. Basically, it's a big globe, like I said, a big crystal globe, and it just has a bunch of little points of light. So it doesn't tell you, it doesn't even have like the name, not that you could read it, but it doesn't even have like names of them. Literally, it's just a configuration of what you think are star systems. That's it.
All right. And I asked the weird avatar, are you going to be like at the world journey? Are you still going to be unconscious?
No, you guys can.
I don't think we can hang on to this form for very long.
Can we even hear through it, or?
Yeah, you can. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hear stuff.
So we'll speak back. Sort of.
Please do enlighten me.
The path exists to beyond. Seek the stars.
you don't have to be melodramatic about it. You can just give me a straight answer.
Yeah, don't freak Plex out, man. Come on.
Bring the alien beings with you. Sentient robot.
All right, so I'm going to introduce a new milestone here, so it's going to be find the adept of the ancients. So obviously the goal will be to once you've done that is that then you can interact with and get your bodies back and figure out what you want to do at that point. So you still have the evade the Black Scorpion milestone, but since I introduced a new milestone, you do have the option to change your drives if you want. You don't have to, but I'm giving you that option if you wish. And actually, since we're talking about that, why don't we real quick go through, I know we haven't done a whole lot, but go through your drives and relationships real quick to see if you got any credit for anything.
Okay.
I realize I think I missed an opportunity for credit because I didn't have modify a vessel to improve its performance highlighted.
Oh.
After I did the advance. But
well, that technically wouldn't be. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Well, in that event, yeah, I might want to.
I'm pretty sure I have nothing.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, I mean, I just thought since we're potentially changing drives, I don't want you guys to, forget about anything you may have had. So.
Yeah, I think I will go ahead and change. Take the modify vessel to improve its performance.
Okay, sure. Anything for Vector?
Give critical advice to help an ally succeed.
Yeah, I think so, because you helped Fabian.
Probably not.
No, I guess not really. I mean, he didn't
really a rational plan through to its successful end.
I would say that Vector did encourage Fabian to start experimenting with her ability to access the powers of the stone, because she was just kind of along for the ride. Because
yeah,
all
right. Yeah, that's fine. Let's give you that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because she was definitely way too weirded out by this whole experience.
I mean, I think because technically Fabian did succeed in controlling her body, and that was only because you encouraged her. So yeah, we'll give it to you.
Okay. This one may make more sense, though. Fabian must help me find the way out of the astral plane.
I don't think yet. I mean, if you want to interpret that as either getting away from the planet or getting out of your astral plane, you haven't done either one of those yet. So I would say not yet, but maybe soon.
And I must keep Plex ready and available for action.
Yeah.
I don't think you've done anything to make that happen one way or the other. Okay, cool. All right, so did you guys want to change any of your drives, or are you going to keep them the same? All right, I guess
I did change my drive.
Okay.
I'll change to one as well.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so yeah, so you guys have this information. Now where you go?
Okay. We need to get the ship ASAP. We're leaving the hell out of here. Is the plaza big enough to park the ship?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So what I think I will do, if we are three being ancient is up to it, I'll go get the ship and come back and pick you up.
Well, that thing they have, that simulacrum they have, is going to go away pretty soon. So it won't be there long enough for you to do anything with it if you leave.
Okay.
You could talk to it for like a few more minutes and then it goes bye-bye.
Well, I do remember Vector being able to scare people away, so they might be safe until I come back. Yeah. Oh, by the way, watch out for lizard mans in the basement. They actually have a crystal on their forehead. You might be able to communicate with them. But yeah, I'll go get the ship. Be gentle with the lizards.
Do you want to take Valeric with you to the ship, or do you want to leave him here to watch?
I think I'll leave him on watch.
Okay. All right, so Plex is heading for the ship. Where is everyone else going to be? Just in this room with the globe thing?
I guess until
wherever our bodies are plopped, I guess.
Yeah, well, that was really a question for Plex. Like, where do you want to put their bodies while you?
Oh, I guess try to make them comfortable. Lay them on the ground on the side.
Stack up like wood
in that big room, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And right. Valeric, keep an eye on them, not just on the machine.
All right. So as soon as you leave the astrolab, you see Black Scorpion guys kind of in front of the vault. So they're across the plaza from you. They haven't seen you yet, apparently, because they're not reacting to you being there. But I mean, they'll see you in a moment if they don't, because you're right there.
All right. If I remember correctly, I dropped my gun in the.
It got trapped under a bunch of rubble.
Okay, and they are like right in front of that rubble.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Okay.
You could try to get through them to get to it, but that'll be tricky.
But all our bodies have laser pistols on them. So
that's true.
But it's not my gun.
It's not as good as that's true. It's definitely not.
Okay. Just quick question: is the gun totally lost, or after we can reset ammo and things like that, can I back?
Yeah. So since you got it by way of a move, you can eventually get either a new one, or if you can figure out a way to get that one back, sure. But even if you don't, I mean, you'll have another matter gun at some point.
Well, if there wasn't a whole squad of them in front of it, I will be taking it back right now. But now I'll go the stealth route.
Okay.
And try not to be seen and get to the ship.
Okay, so you're heading for the ship. All right. So, if you're going to try to avoid being seen, which sounds like a good idea, just think, you. What the heck? All right. So you should defy danger, I think, using your deck. See if you can sneak past them.
Perfect. 13.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, no problem. You avoid them, and you're able to get away from the plaza without them seeing you, and you're on your way to the ship.
Cool.
So it's still nighttime, but you have little lights on your. I think we said you have lights of some kind.
Mhm.
So you're able to navigate the difficult rocky terrain. And now you never went to the ship. You met Fabian halfway there.
Yeah.
So let's have you roll with your int to see if you remember where the ship is. 'Cause I don't know how many details Fabian told you. She told you there was a cave. I don't know if she told you much more than that. So let's see if you remember.
7. Oh, my
Okay.
God. Thank you. 7 on -1.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So all right. So you have a choice. You can either spend an inordinate amount of time looking for it and eventually find it. So do you have anything? You don't have a utility belt, right? Because you're a robot.
No, I have absolutely no equipment.
All right. So here's what it is. All right. So you see, as you're getting to where you met Fabian, you see those pterodactyl things flying around.
My friends.
Yeah. Hey, fly me over to the. So you think that. Well, here's a. You know for sure that on Fabian's body there is a device that will tell you exactly where the ship is. It's like a little, like a homing beacon or something.
Cool.
Like
I remember that halfway.
Right. So you can either go back and get that, and then come back and find the ship, or you can chance it and, potentially risk these pterodactyl things bothering you, and continue on.
But if I need to go back,
you think you're close to the cave, but you're not 100% sure.
Okay. So if I need to go back to Fabian, am I trying to black scorpions?
Yes, that's true.
In flying pterodactyl? I'll take the pterodactyls.
Okay.
It went so well last time.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So how? So I assume you're going to want to try to avoid these things, right? So how do you want to do that?
I'm making as the least amount of stun as possible.
Okay. All right. So I think I'm going to have you defy danger again using your dex this time, and see if you can avoid them, because they're going to try to swoop down and grab this shiny thing in the moonlight.
So roll for a party decided that when I have +3, I need to roll a 10.
Okay. All right. So So one of them comes down and almost grabs you, but you roll away from it. And another one kind of grabs for you again. You avoid that. And all right, so you're able to get to this big cave. And sure enough, inside the big cave, parked about, 1,000 feet in, is the Vespera.
Cool. I hugged the Vespera before going in.
All right.
Finally.
Okay. All right.
Technology that's not psychic.
Yeah. All right. So you get to the Vespera, no problem. You know how to fly this thing, so you can pilot it out of the cave and over to the plaza. Now, as you're about to do this, you realize that if you do that, the Black Scorpion are totally going to see this.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make that clear. They're going to see a big spaceship landing on the plaza.
I know I'm loading my friends in that thing under fire.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you land. I assume you're going to land on the plaza?
Yep.
Okay. So sure enough, you see a couple of squads of these guys, squad being like 4, so maybe 8 total of these Black Scorpion guys. They see the ship coming, and they start getting behind cover and stuff, like, various ruined walls and boulders and stuff. But they don't do anything to the ship, so you're able to land the Vespera in the plaza as you had planned to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
Okay. I think I open the hangar doors and run inside the astrolab.
Okay.
Call that Rick.
Okay. Well, that sounds like another defy danger to me. We'll see if your lucky streak continues. So why don't you go and roll with your dex? Dex.
6.
Not this time. All right. That's okay. All right. So So the as soon as they see you come out, they're going to take some shots at you. So I'll say one of the groups shoots at you for D4 plus 4 damage. And roll that.
So it's 4 damage, and I have an armor of 2.
Yep.
And I'm sitting at 9 vitality.
Okay. Now, I will point out to you that you can defend either Valeric or the unconscious bodies if you want to use your Val Protector move. That's probably fair.
Yeah, I will definitely do that.
Okay, go ahead and roll that now if you want.
I have a +1 if I defend Vector. Does that count? Like that?
Sure, that's fine.
So it's a +1.
Plus your con.
Yep. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
8.
All right. So that gives you what? 2 reserve, I think. If you, I don't remember how. Yeah.
Okay. So on the partial success, gain 1 reserve if I'm protecting someone in a manner that triggers a relationship, and I have my special relationship with Victor is I have his back.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah. Totally.
So I have an extra reserve.
Okay. Cool. So you have 2.
And I have +1 armor, and they have 1 armor as long as I still have some reserve.
Yep. Yeah, I figured the armor probably come in handy in case you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're down to what you said 9 vitality.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So you're able to you get shot a little bit, but you're able to get into the astrolab. You can grab everybody. Do you want Valeric to continue to carry Zisafar?
Yep.
Okay.
Let the NPCs be in bunch.
Yep. All right. So you're coming out. So the Black Scorpion agents have now moved away from their cover, and they're trying to kind of, outflank you on the way back to the so they're kind of surrounding the ship, sort of. So what you want to do as you come out?
So are they in between me and the ship?
They will be. They're trying to carefully maneuver into position. So, I mean, you knew exactly where to run to get the bodies. So it only took you, a few moments to do that. So by the time you get back up, I mean, they didn't just run from their cover because they know what you're doing. So they, they kind of slowly emerge from their cover, and they're like, "Oh, he went in there, okay." And they kind of snuck forward a little bit. And by the time all that happened, you're back. So they're kind of halfway between the cover and your ship. So they were trying to, but
okay,
the opportunity to,
Yeah, I'll make a run for it.
Okay, so roll same thing. I hate to keep using the same thing over and over again, but it just makes the most sense here. So.
Well, if you want to make a case of using strength, since I'm carrying 2 bodies, that could be something.
Actually, let's do this. I'm going to have you roll using your con because they're going to shoot at you, and you have almost no way to avoid that because you're carrying all this stuff. So I think that makes the most sense.
My big mouth. 8.
Okay. All right. So you they do shoot at you. Some of the shots are gonna hit Vector and Fabian.
Oh no! Ouch. Well, okay. I still give them 1 armor, but ouch.
Well, you can use your reserve.
Oh yeah, that was the whole point.
Right. Well, and the armor, right?
Remember, I can give you a bonus. Also, if I can manifest a face, sort of, to give him a bonus, to aid him, to sort of distract them or put them on.
Yeah, I mean, he's already rolled, but if he needs it for future, yeah.
Okay.
I will use both of my reserve. I will redirect 1 attack direct. Well, I can just negate the damage to both.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So we will say that because that'll wipe out your reserve, but we'll say that if they do any damage to you, you'll still have the armor until the end of, because this is all simultaneous, right?
Okay.
So you'll still have the benefit of that for now. So yeah. So all right. So again, same deal. They're going to roll damage on you, d4 plus 4, which is basically the damage for one group of them. But I don't want to do 2 of them because you'll be dead.
Okay, this one I have a whooping 8 damage.
Ouch. Well, you have
minus
yeah.
armor, which is 3 right now.
Yeah.
I'm down to 4 vitality.
Okay, but now you're on the ship.
I'm on the ship.
Yep.
Does Valeric make it?
That's a good question. I think he will because you drew their fire, so he gets on the ship. No problem.
Perfect. Okay, and I unceremoniously drop everyone on the floor to Vespera.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Sorry. And
So,
jump on the pilot's seat.
Yeah, and you can hear, so as you're doing this, you can hear the Black Scorpion guys trying to do stuff like get on the ship. I assume that you did something to kind of close the...
Yeah, if I could press a button on the way, yes.
Yeah, we'll say you remember to do that.
Taking off is...
You or Valeric, maybe Valeric did it on the way in. All right. So they were trying to do stuff. You don't know if they were successful, but you've closed the ship off, and you can take off now.
Yes.
So the only other thing you have to deal with now, they can't really damage your ship. So the way it works, this hasn't come up yet, I don't think, but the way it works with this different scale. So ship scale and people scale. So if a person attacks a ship, you quarter the damage. So if they were to shoot their laser pistols at your ship, it does 1/4 the damage. If a ship shoots at a person, it's ×4. So if one of you guys gets hit with a ship cannon, it's bad news, unless they roll a 1. And we have had it happen before. So, in fact, one time we had a character get rammed by a ship. Yeah, that was he survived somehow. But anyway, so that's how that works. So when they shoot at your ship, you've got your shields up. They can't do enough damage to penetrate your shields because the most damage they can do is 2.
Okay.
So they can't damage your ship. So you can get away from these guys on the ground pretty easily. But the one thing you do have to deal with still is they have a ship in orbit you're going to have to deal with.
All right. That sounds like doing some evasive actions.
Yeah. Okay, sure. So you can do that. So you will say that you do know about the ionic boosters if you want to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to
probably Valeric gives me the heads up about this.
Yeah. So, Michael, why don't you explain what that does since that's new?
Right. So it's a 2-use module item, and every time you use it, we get a +1 forward to speed.
Okay.
So it's basically you get two shots with +1 speed, basically, until we have to. I guess until we do whatever we have to do to replenish uses. Like, I guess that's probably a maintenance thing, I suppose.
So anything with uses, there's a restock move, which is a special move, and so anytime you're in a city or a large settlement or whatever, it just assumes that you replenish all that stuff. So you won't be able to replenish it while you're flying around, but once you get somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, so ship's speed is 0. I will definitely use the boosters.
So we're going to use the basic action.
Valeric was upgrading the sensors, so I might be using that to pinpoint where the enemy ship might be, and
you don't need to send
the other way.
We'll say you know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's going to be shooting at you and stuff, probably. So
10, thanks to the boosters.
All right, cool. Okay, so on a complete success on evasive action, you avoid the danger, which is that Black Scorpion ship. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only other thing you have to do is figure out where the heck you're going. So once you get into orbit, which we'll say that you've done now, so how are you going to manage this? Because Plex doesn't know where to go. I mean, you have
back the map.
You do have that. So you will have to figure out how to program the navigation.
Plex has an aperture that he pulls out, and then he can plug something into his arm.
He can do that. It's going to require, because this is a place that's not in the navigation computer, he's still going to have to interact with it, which is going to be an intelligence check.
I had two choices. Go exactly where we need to be, or go just to any spaceport where we can replenish, use.
Well, you can go to one of your home systems. Sure, you can do that. You know how to do that.
I think I'll do that, and at that point, I might even have Professor Amran Hayes to do this and not botch anything and kill us.
Now, the other possibility that I want to throw out there is it's possible that Fabian might be able to help you if Fabian can figure out how to help you.
Ah, yes. So, well, yeah. Could I just? So I can't. Once again, of course, I can't get into my body because that's what we need the add-up for, if I remember correctly. And but I can at least animate my body to some degree. Is it? Could I just? Is it possible to just talk Plex through the navigation process?
You can't talk directly to Plex because he's a robot.
Oh, right.
You can talk to Valeric, who is not a robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'd like to try. Go ahead and try it that way.
Okay. So essentially, here's what we'll do. This will basically be an aid. So you'll aid Plex, and the justification is that you're doing it through Valeric. So, all right. So I'm sorry. So where? Well, I mean, I guess Fabian, you can try to decide on this too. Where do you want Plex to try to go?
Yeah.
I guess that system I saw highlighted.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So you want me to go to the ancient directly?
Yeah. Unless Captain, is there anything else we should do to prepare?
Okay. Well, I'm not happy about it, but this is what I will do.
Nick, you're asking Vector, right?
Actually, yeah, I was asking Vector if there's anywhere in particular we should do to prepare.
Why don't we go ahead and create a sound approach to this place?
Okay.
And so that is, I will spend a reserve.
Yep.
And make a intelligence roll.
Now, before you do that, remember the way this works is that you have to pick a move that you're going to have somebody roll. And you're going to be giving them continuous bonuses. So it needs to be a move that you think they're going to do more than once.
So I think
in order for it to be effective.
Any move that is going for navigation. So
other nav.
So the other nav is the one they're definitely going to do, at least once.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that one.
Okay, that's fine. Yep. They may only do it one time.
That's fine.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your move.
That important.
Yep.
It is that important.
So I rolled a 10.
Okay.
So it will last for the rest of the scene.
Okay, cool.
So if for some reason we have to make it twice.
Yep. All right. So you get a +1 from that, and you're getting a +1 from Fabian and Valeric, basically. So it's giving you a +2. So other nav is an int roll, which I know it isn't great for you, but you're getting a +2 from all that other stuff.
Yeah, so I have a flat +1.
All right, let's roll it.
Why do you throw the robot on the console? Why do you do that? It's a 8.
Okay, so it's a partial success. So what happens on a partial success?
You arrive at your destination, but choose one. It takes twice as long. Somebody at the destination has to drop on you, and the other nav or main must be repaired at the cost of 1 credit from barter. I will choose. Well, okay, that might be something completely out there, but I'll choose the third one.
Okay, it has to be repaired.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's the matter antimatter engine. That's what it was referring to. So.
Oh, okay.
It's just part of the whole thing. Okay. So basically, you're able to do it. You're able to get there, but the engine is damaged in the process. It just needs to be repaired, which you guys can do. All right. So I'm going to say that you guys have resolved the milestone, evade the Black Scorpion. So everybody gets 1 XP for that. And I'm going to cross it off our list now. So right now we just have the Find the Adept of the Ancients milestone left right now. So you arrive in this strange system, and as soon as you arrive, the matter-antimatter engine is completely depleted, and it is kind of hissing and smoking a little bit. I'll say that Plex hears a noise and goes back and looks at it. He's like, "Oh dear."
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I wanted to go to a port.
Oh,
The ship is going to get ripped in peace. We are overdue into its maintenance.
That's true too. All right, so you but you arrive in this star system. You don't know anything about it. You see physically, you see a star really far away, but you can see it, but like you can see it, a little dot in the distance, and several planets and other things. So you're somewhere. You're in a star system you've never seen before.
So I think our normal procedure is to sort of scan the area, launch probes, and do all that stuff. But
Yeah.
Fabian is indisposed a little bit, so we might.
Well,
Plex can do it. I mean, it uses the
I can
ship
still
sensor
operate the
stat.
ship.
Yeah, Plex can do it.
I almost took a move where I could use my dex instead of the evasive action. So even other nav I could have used my stats instead. Okay.
Well, other nav always uses your.
Oh yeah, but I think I had there's one type of robot that has.
Yeah, the navigation. There's a move where you. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you can. I believe the ship sensors are +2 now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
do you want to roll a sensor scan or something?
Yeah. Well, sensor scan can scan something. I guess it's the star system I'm scanning.
Yeah, because right now you don't know anything. I mean, you see some planets, but you don't know anything about them. So yeah.
Cool. Let's do that. Oh, 11. Nice.
Okay. So you can pick 2.
We also have an improved scanner array, which is +1.
Oh, so 12.
So you're good. So you get to pick 2 categories of things off of the list under sensor scan.
Okay. It's secrets.
Okay.
And what pick could I use to see if there's like a spaceport somewhere? Environment? Hazards? No, it might be environment.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, environment will tell you what's there, right? So you'll know if the planets are like inhabited or that kind of stuff. So that's fine. That'll work. Okay. All right. So you notice that this star system has 13 planets in it, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of those, 7 of them appear to have some kind of orbital colonies. So there's some kind of space station or something orbiting these. But all of these planets, even all of the 7 planets that I mentioned, have multiple like orbiting stations. And you also detect that 4 of these planets actually have cities on them. So they have like what appears to be advanced civilization, cities, etc. So the other 3 are like gas giants, so they don't have cities on them, but they still have these large orbital stations.
It kind of feel like our empire of the Ninth Sun was it's like a city living under a big highway, but it just never went up.
And so after you're there for about, I don't know, 5 minutes, your sensors also tell you that there are ships incoming.
I will. I won't be aggressive, and if they hail me, I'll respond.
All right, Valeric is. We'll say he's next to you in the cockpit. His eyes go wide, and he just slumps over.
Okay.
What about Vernon? Does he wake up?
Who?
Amran.
Oh, Professor Amron, he's still unconscious. Nobody has tried to wake him up.
No time to do that. Okay.
Better stick an IV in him.
Well, now you have no way to communicate with Plex because Valor's unconscious.
Whoop.
Oh, okay. So, okay, in that sense, cool.
As you're reacting to all of this, this giant cruiser just kind of comes into view. It's like a big Star Destroyer looking thing. Just kind of appears.
Okay.
Higher
Your
technology.
sensors are like, your sensors are like flipping out. Your sensors are detecting some kind of energy stream being sent at your ship, but it's unidentified.
Okay, and you're asking the wrong robot if he knows what to do. Well, I'll tell them.
Okay.
Hey, this is Vespera. I need help.
There's no response.
Hello.
I mean, your communication system's working. You think that for whatever reason they're not responding. You don't know why. They're not being hostile to you, as far as you can tell.
Okay, does it seem like a model of ship that I recognize, or is it totally foreign?
This big cruiser? No, you have no idea what this. I mean, it's a giant spaceship, but it's not like anything you've ever seen before.
Okay. Yeah, sorry I don't speak Crystal, but I need help.
Well, what do you do? Yeah, I mean, maybe there's other means you can use to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought it was down. Now I'll try to interface.
Actually, you mentioned something. You could do an understand move if you want to see if you can figure something out. I mean, I can give you a hint at least.
Perfect. Not perfect. It's int.
Yeah, I know.
Again, wrong robot.
Can I aid him, or can all of us aid him because we have the?
Okay? So those of you in the astral plane are definitely feeling a psychic resonance, but you can't really interact with it directly because you're not like physically there. I mean, you're it's kind of hard to explain, but maybe you could do that thing again where you Voltron up into that avatar, maybe.
Well, I already rolled and rolled like a 3.
Okay.
And this one's 2.
Okay. So you're hitting buttons and stuff on your ship. You're not sure what to do with this damn thing, and it basically this beam comes out and hits your ship and starts pulling the ship into it. Because this thing is like huge. The thing is probably 1,000 times the size of your ship. So it's just like pulling you in.
Actually, at this point, I don't even try to resist.
It's time for us to Voltron up again.
All right. Safar is all for that idea. She thinks that's a great idea.
Overwhelming.
She will help.
All right. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are going to aid me.
Plus 2 from the different folks helping.
11.
All right, excellent. So you'll basically have this thing for the rest of the scene now.
Okay.
So you manifest this avatar. It looks like an ancient, and you can do stuff.
So through the avatar, try to psychically connect with some of the other. I'm assuming there are other ancients in the ship.
Yeah, so when you're in the avatar form, there is an overwhelming psychic presence all around you.
But we are the avatar.
Yeah,
is inevitable.
There's like 1,000 of these guys all. The best you can tell is there's like 1,000 of these guys.
And 1,000 of them shall be crushed.
Well, is that what you tell them?
if necessary.
Well, at this point, you're not
tell
sure.
that. Factor.
I mean, you're just receiving. It's like this massive psychic feedback that you're getting.
Is it painful?
That probably does. It's probably not physically painful, but it's probably. It's like if you were drunk. It's like you're
puny minds.
Yeah, you're having a hard time dealing with it.
Hmm.
You're not even sure if they mean to do this. I mean, it's really hard to tell because it's so alien to you guys. I mean, you could try to figure out what's going on, and they are tractor beaming your ship.
Bring us to your leader so we may dispense with the stones of power.
Is that what you tell them?
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, that's,
I'm gonna have you roll to see if you can.
all three of our minds in unison, screaming out.
Vector, you gotta reel it back a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna have you
What's
guys.
going on here?
All right, I'm gonna have Vector roll with your charisma and see if you can.
You know the Protoss?
No,
No. Okay.
not those. So roll. I'm gonna have you roll. Actually, why don't we do a negotiate move? I think that makes the most sense. So why don't you roll with a negotiate move? Your leverage is that you have these artifacts that they might want. I think that's fair. So if you communicate that to them. There we go.
We are Legion.
Yeah, they're Legion too.
Right.
They're a Legionnaire.
Yeah, they're more Legion.
So you said charisma, and am I getting aid bonuses from everyone?
Sure, why not? +2.
+2. Both
of them, yeah.
So that puts me up to a 7, thankfully.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. So in the negotiate move, we probably should have asked this before, but according to the negotiate move, you are supposed to be trying to get them to agree to a deal. So what is the deal that you're trying to get them to agree to?
We want to take them to take us to their leader so that we can negotiate with them.
All right. So, and what, not destroy you?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, of course.
Or inconvenience you or whatever. Okay.
That'd be great.
All right. So.
Fine. Don't destroy us then.
All right. So, and a partial success, which is what you got, there's a sticking point or complications. You have to select one of the things under negotiate. So,
okay.
They don't agree to one of your terms. You have to resolve that if the deal is off. You are put in danger or a third party enters the situation. So those are your three options.
Third party enters the situation.
That's the one you want to pick?
Absolutely. Ooh. So there's, well, let me tell you my thinking and then you can take her.
Yeah.
So you said there are 2 factions of these guys, right?
Yes, the Ancients, as far as you know, yeah.
So maybe the ones that have come to us are the ones that are the enemies that would be the natural enemies to us. But a third party enters the situation to rectify that and says, hey, stop your petty, wearisome attacks, and these are the bearers of the stone.
Okay. That's certainly an option.
That's an option, yes. Take it or leave it.
Yes. Sounds like a pretty good plan.
Well, I get to decide what the third party is. So what I'm saying is that's an option for me to consider. So if that's the one you want to pick, that's cool.
I like that plan.
Okay. All right. So they agree they're going to bring you on board their ship and they will take you to one of the nearby planets.
Okay.
Where there is an
here, it says non-player characters are free to reject bargains that go against their essential natures or would cause them significant harm.
Yeah, but this isn't. Yeah, they're not. That's basically saying if you try to get like the big bad guy to surrender with this move, it doesn't work.
I see.
Or if you tell people to shoot themselves, they won't do that kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay. Cool. So assuming you guys agree to that, they will take you aboard their ship, which is this giant cruiser. And as you're it's not pulling in real fast. You're kind of slowly, heading towards this big cruiser, and this big, hangar bay opens up. And as you're just about ready to enter this big ship, your sensors ping again, and some ships showed up here that you do recognize. These
boy.
are Imperial ships. And one of them is the flagship of the Emperor.
Oh.
And now we're going to take a break. Yay! See how I did that? All right. So before we take a break, real quick, let's check drives and relationships.
Okay.
And then we'll take a break. So, Plex, got anything drives and relationships from last?
Vector needs me to watch their back.
Yeah.
Prove my innate superiority to biologicals by carrying everyone.
Well, not only that, but when the ship got assailed by all that psychic energy, it didn't affect you. So, yeah, totally, yeah.
That's why he fell down. Oh, nice.
Yeah, because Valerie was like, ah! With all this psychic energy, you're like, what?
What's happening?
Yeah. All right. So what about your relationships?
Oh, that was Vector needs me to watch your back.
Oh, okay.
I didn't help Fabian destroy anything.
Yeah, not yet. Soon. All right. Yeah. So let's go to Fabian.
So the only thing I could see as a possibility would be Plex pushing me to try new things. I don't know if that's the only thing I can think of is, in my continuing attempts to maintain connections and work with Plex across the dimensional barriers.
Sure. Why not? We'll give it to you. So you've been kind of, out of luck on a lot of this stuff so far.
Woohoo!
There's so many things you haven't been able to do. So yeah. We'll Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay. What about Vector?
Let's see. I must keep Plex ready and available for action.
Plex is pretty much badly damaged and almost destroyed.
I don't know. You've done a good job of that. All right. What else?
Fabian must help me find the way out. So we are kind of finding the way out right now.
Well, you certainly found the way out of the Nirvana system, so I think Fabian did help, so I'll give you that one.
See a rational plan through to its successful end.
Yeah, you did that. Yep, you got to the system and met with the ancients, so sure. Yeah.
Rational.
Yeah, rational enough, right?
Lead your allies to victory against a significant enemy.
Not yet. But maybe soon. We'll see.
For Rome!
All right, so where are you guys at XP-wise?
So
I'm getting pretty close.
We got 1 plus whatever we got here, right?
We got 1 for the finishing up that evading the Black Scorpion milestone.
Okay.
Plus whatever we just talked about.
I've got 2 experience points to go before our next advance.
You'll definitely get that.
I have 1 point of experience.
Yeah, so you guys are all pretty close. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let's take a short break here, like 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and finish this up.
Sweet.
So I'm going to take that advance.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Which will be my wisdom. I'll just bump my wisdom.
Okay. How close are you to getting another one?
6.
So one thing I want to mention to you, if you take, and this is in the book, but it doesn't explain it here in the sheets. If you take a move that requires, like if you take one of the psionic moves that allows you to do reserve stuff, you get build reserve as well. So if you took like the telepathy move or telekinesis or one of those things, you also would get the build reserve move automatically. So if you wanted to take one of those, we could justify it in the fiction, certainly, because you've been around all this psychic stuff. So just throwing that out there. If you wanted to do that, that's certainly an option. So,
all right.
So just think about it, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah.
I am back. Sorry for the delay.
I think everyone had a delay.
Okay. Got a kitty-related emergency. Well, not really emergency, but...
You should be receiving later tonight an email that contains a link to download the game.
Cool. All right. Okay. So once we get everybody back, it's like we're all back. Okay, cool. All right. So you guys are being pulled into this giant cruiser. And like I said, you see the Emperor's flagship along with a couple other ships show up right as you're entering the big cruiser. What dost thou do?
Okay. I'm assuming if I talk to the big thing in the middle, Safari will understand me.
Yeah.
Say hi. Yeah, your father's there. Here.
That's not good.
Well, why?
That's a good question. Theoretically, the Emperor shouldn't even know about this system. So you have to wonder how that happened.
Maybe the Black Scorpion told us, or maybe there's one right now in the ship.
No. Well, that's
transponding our location.
That's also possible.
I'll look around.
You look around. Okay. You're gonna look around the ship?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you could, if you want to, analyze that. That's
Imperial Guard here.
No.
I would like to talk to the Emperor. Probably not.
No. Well, all right. So you guys in the avatar thing, you could do stuff too.
Okay. So we will. How about this? We will materialize in the throne room of the Emperor's throne room.
Can we do that? Back in your home system, or
no? I'm assuming his ship has some sort of throne room.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a complete success. Okay, sure, you can do that.
Okay. And I'm thinking that he's not going to know what the heck we are. And so we could try to dupe him, or actually, before we do that, so could you maybe lay out the scene, and then I'll respond.
Well, all right. So your ship, this little tiny baby ship, is flying into this big cruiser, and as this is happening from the edge of the system, basically, where you guys came in, you see these, say, 4 ships pop into view, and they immediately on your scanners. One really big ship, which is almost probably a little smaller than this big cruiser. That's the Emperor's flagship, and then these smaller ships are still pretty big, but they're not as big as that thing. Your characters have, I would say, some familiarity with the Emperor's. I mean, you immediately recognize the Emperor's flagship. I don't know if your characters would have been on the flagship before. I don't know. Maybe Plex would have. Mm-hmm. Certainly, Zsafara, you would think would have, though. But I don't know about the rest of you guys would have necessarily been on it before. I mean, I guess you could make a case that you might have.
Well, yeah, but she's part of our collective intelligence, so
right.
She would be able to easily get us there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That getting there isn't really a problem. You won't have Plex with you, of course. But yes, you could psychically transport yourself there. Sure.
Okay. So
Z so far will tell you she doesn't think it's a good idea, but
why?
he's very powerful.
Psychically?
Yes.
Well, we have the power of the mind, soul, and body.
She doesn't know what any of this means. I mean, she's way past the limits of her research that she did on any of this stuff. So she doesn't know what he knows. She doesn't know what kind of power this gives you. She has no idea.
So I think we show up and we can always just leave immediately.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Yeah. And so long as we don't expose our hand on who we actually are, I think we'll be safe. But so it would be this sounds like a plan of whatever it's called, a sound approach. So we're going to make a sound approach.
Okay.
And it's going to be defy danger. And I'm specifically thinking of wisdom here, but
Yeah. Okay.
So defy danger.
Okay, and you have to give it to a specific ally.
So we're not considered a single entity.
Well, see, the thing is with that roll is it's not supposed to be you making the roll. So,
I see.
I guess if you want to give it to Fabian and have Fabian make the rolls.
Fabian. So I got a 7.
Okay.
So that means that we get a 1 use of it, right? Not for the whole scene.
No. I believe you get the bonus until you fail on a move. I think is the way it's worded. I have to look at it, but I think that's
Sound approach. Any success, one ally of your choice gets +1 ongoing to a specific move until they fail. Right. Okay, got it. Okay, so yeah, I give Fabian that bonus. So when we appear, is the Emperor in the throne room?
yeah. So all right. So you psychically like manifest in this place. It's a very dark area. There's like this big platform with a throne on it, and lots of like red little lights everywhere.
Very Darth Vader-esque.
What's that?
Very Darth Vader-esque.
Never. And that's a licensed character. I would never. Yeah, and so you see this figure on the throne, and it's dark, so you can't really. I mean, you know that you're sure it's the Emperor based on the kind of silhouette of this thing. Yeah, I mean, you see, he's got like these glowing yellow eyes that you can see. They're kind of crackling with energy as you appear.
Well, we're glowing a lot brighter, so we're maybe emanating some light around where our body is, and in a sort of intimidating voice, say, "Why have you come?"
All right, the Emperor stands up, and
we're 9 feet tall.
What's
right?
that? What's that?
We're 9 feet tall. He said.
Yeah.
Not 15, but 9.
Yeah. But he's standing up on a dais, so he's actually taller, technically.
Okay.
But anyway, the height's not really the issue here. So he reaches out his hand towards you guys, and this wave of psychic energy just like right, you guys. So you're gonna have to resist this with defy danger, which is good because you gave yourself a bonus to that.
Fabian.
So Fabian gets a +1 to defy danger using wisdom.
Yeah. Which means it's even roll. And I've generated a 4.
4 total.
That's poopy.
Yep. Sure is.
All right. So Fabian is Fabian, you're back in your body.
Okay.
Back on the ship. And it's just Vector and Z Safara now inside this thing.
Okay.
I call out to Plex.
Hey, buddy.
Well, hey, we thought we needed to get here to get you back into your body, but you know what? We just need the Emperor to do that again.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, all according to plan, huh?
Yeah, this may not be what you wanted, but
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he's screwing our artifacts right now.
yeah, you don't know what's going on with the body stone because he was the bearer of the body, or she was the bearer of the body stone. You don't know what's going on with that. But that's not your immediate concern. Is what do you do about the Emperor now? He's marching toward, kind of slowly walking towards you and looking evil and stuff.
Well, we will enact some of our. Well, I don't know. What is Safara? How does she feel about this?
She wants to get the hell out of there before it gets worse. Because she doesn't know how to contend with him. He's obviously more powerful than even she thought, because he shouldn't be able to do that.
Okay, so we will. So he'd no answer and just attack. All right, we'll.
I mean, he could say something pithy like, you know, get out of here or whatever. I don't know.
I will crush you.
Yeah. I'm not feeling particularly cinematically inspired right now. So
Okay.
we'll just say he says something pithy and flings psychic energy at you. And off goes Fabian. So, yeah.
All right, so I think that we will say, fine, so be it, and we'll disappear back to our ship.
Okay. All right. That's fair. All right.
You may have won this round.
Yeah. So I'm tempted to give you guys another milestone, but I think that because there's not enough time left to really deal with it, if we were going to have another session, I certainly would introduce a milestone to him with the Emperor. But I think because this is season 1, right, we may have a season 2, which means we may continue the story at a later time. So I want to give you guys a chance to do stuff with these ancients. So we'll say that for the moment, you're free of the Emperor bothering you, but he's still there, so he could still be a threat. So you guys are back on the ship. Now what?
So are we still getting tractored towards a...
Yeah, at this point, you're probably inside the cruiser now, yeah.
Okay, so try to use the residual psychic energies that Safara and I still have to communicate with the ancients to say,
Okay.
Please, we come in peace, but we're not so certain about the others that followed us here.
Okay. Well, if you look outside the ship, you guys have, you're in this giant hangar. There's all these weird-looking ships you guys have never seen before. And there's all these 9-foot tall, weird, ancient people standing around. Kind of looking, it's probably, I don't know, 2 dozen of them, just kind of looking at you guys. Yeah, so, I mean, you get a general response from them that they are peaceful and they don't mean you harm. But you also get the sense that if you try to harm them, it'll be bad for you.
Okay. Well, we're not going to try to harm them. We're going to try to befriend them as protection against the Emperor.
All right. So I assume at some point you guys are going to exit your ship, right?
Yeah, I hate feeling that out.
I can't.
Well, but I mean, okay, so right now you guys still have your avatar form if you still want to use it. But my question is, if you want to exit the ship in that form, you don't know what reaction that would have. So that was kind of what I was getting at.
I see.
I think me and Fabian should be doing the first contact thing.
Well, I think we
Also-
should stand behind you guys just for a little
Yeah.
intimidation.
Because if nothing else, it does demonstrate, our status as being able to like do something with the crystals, and that's bound to help us at least a little bit. Even if they mistake us for whatever faction they aren't, at least they know that we're like on at least a little bit on their level.
So,
Yeah. Because really, they could have just simply gone there and got it themselves, right? So why did they need us to? So there's got to be some link between us being the bearer, being not them, or something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the approach here? You guys are Fabian. So you're going to exit the ship and try to talk to these guys.
Yeah, if nobody else will, I will.
Okay. All right.
No, I think we should all go together.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So Z Safara and Vector are going to exit in the avatar form. Is that okay?
Avatar form.
Yes.
Blue.
Manifestation. All right. Okay. So you guys leave the ship and you see this scene. The ancients that are there do kind of react to seeing the manifestation thing. And some of them kind of get down on one knee.
Huh.
Not all of them do, though, but some of them do. And they, everyone but Plex kind of understands that they think that you are some kind of a spirit of one of their ancestors, a very powerful, like kind of a high priest or something. So,
and so since I don't understand that, I think that's their way of saying hello. So I bend the knee also.
okay. they don't pay any attention to the robot. Unfortunately, they're just this is an object that they can't interact with. So, but yeah, so that's what they do. So I mean, you can freely communicate with them, but that's their initial reaction.
And again, it's just Vector and the princess who are part of it.
Yeah, so Fabian, because you got shunted out of everything, you no longer have any psychic anything.
Makes
So
sense.
you're back to normal, yeah. So you don't hear any of this either. Although I will say that when you're in the presence of these guys, you feel this dull kind of a static in your mind because you're still being hit with all the stuff. Your brain can't interpret it.
Mm.
So yeah, so I guess it's really up to Vector to try to talk to these guys.
We come in peace. However, the Emperor, who is on that large ship, may not come in peace.
We can feel his power. He is a malediction.
He was planning on killing off all of the people of our planets to save himself.
He is in league with the Forsaken.
And the Forsaken are the ones who are tainting our sons?
Yes, they came to your world in hopes of reforming those star systems in their own for their own purposes. They are what you would consider criminals to us.
We are the bearers of the Mind and Soul Stone.
Yes.
Our third bearer of the Body Stone was relieved from that duty. Is there some way that we can channel this energy for your betterment?
We must take you to the High Adept. We are not knowledgeable in these things.
So is the Emperor's ship firing on this ship?
No. It's just kind of hovering there, looking menacing, but no, it's not attacking or anything.
Okay.
I mean, that could change, but for the moment, it's not doing anything.
All right. So we are willing to go and speak with the adept and bring the power of the mind and soul stone.
Spirit, but yes.
Or-
All right, yeah. So they'll take you. Yeah, so they're going to take you to one of these planets that has cities on it. So this big planet that has you notice that as you get close to it, you notice that it has structures that are more advanced versions of some of the stuff you saw back in the Nirvana system. So it looks like either really old versions of these guys built that, or they somehow got the natives that you ran into to build that stuff, and they instructed them to make it look like their stuff. So one or the other is the case, and if you really wanted to find out, you probably could, but that's your impression of it. So they're actually going to they're going to send you down in your ship, because this big cruiser can't land on the planet. So they're going to send you down in your ship with an escort.
Okay.
And they tell you that they can if there's any needs that your vessel may have, they can take care of that. So
Fabian's behind the wheel again.
yeah. So you take off. You've got like a bunch of ships about the same size as yours, of these ancients that are kind of going with you. There's like 3 that go with you. And they do whatever they need to do to get you past any kind of defensive measures or whatever, traffic control. And you land on this platform that is next to this giant. It looks like a big cathedral or a temple or something. It's like this big kind of a pyramidal, almost like a ziggurat sort of a deal. And at the very top of this ziggurat is a giant blue crystal that looks like the little ones that you guys found, but it's 100 feet tall, like it's humongous, glowing brightly. I mean, you could probably see this from space. So this thing is like, kind of how how the Luxor in Las Vegas has that beam that you can see from space, like that. So yeah. So you land, and some more of these guys show up. Now, the ones that show up out of this building are dressed differently. They look more like what you saw in the vault. So they look like those statues. Like the garb they're wearing looks like what those statues were wearing, sort of. They appear to have kind of ceremonial garb on. And so they offer to escort you to the High Adept.
Thank you for bringing us here and escorting us to the High Adept.
Yes, you are in possession of something that's very valuable to us. So we are happy to assist. And they will just kind of walk you guys through to into the this temple. So Plex and Fabian, you don't have to go with them if you don't want to, but you certainly can. They're not going to stop you.
I would like to go with them just to see what's going on, unless Plex, do you have any ideas for anything else you want to check out while we're here?
Well, we are on a foreign world that we didn't even knew could exist before.
Yeah, check
and
out
we're not required to be there.
It's been right, and now that I think about it, not to get too gushy about it, but we could probably take a break and actually have some actual honest to goodness relationship time and just chill and just be a couple and not some crazy vagabond scallywag adventurers and this like crazy cosmic earth like world-shattering scheme. It would be nice just to get a breather.
Yeah, it would very much like that.
Yeah.
The other thing too, remember they did offer to try to help your ship, and
That's
they don't.
right.
They're not really familiar with your technology that much, so you could probably work with their technical guys to get your ship fixed up.
That will be an opportunity of a lifetime.
Definitely.
Okay. They'll do that.
Especially since our star will blow up someday. So.
Yeah. So they tell you their technicians are trying very hard not to overwhelm your pilot here because they realize that you don't have the psychic facility to deal with them talking to you telepathically. So they're trying to really not overwhelm you. So they tell you that this is very crude technology, but they are somewhat familiar with it.
Hey, easy there.
But
He takes a little bit.
Walk them
This is
through.
the most
So they don't.
advanced technology ever. What are you talking about?
They don't break anything.
Fastest ship.
And they also point out some things that they can probably improve for you.
You don't say.
Yeah. And they offer to install some psionic interfaces at various places in the ship if you want.
Sure, that sounds delightful.
Anything they can install to me that I can speak or understand or communicate with them.
Ooh.
Like a small crystal part somewhere interface with my sensors. Something like that.
They see you gesturing at them, and they kind of look at Fabian. They don't know what's happening.
Oh, yes.
What is that doing?
My partner here is, well, my partner, thank you very much.
But I should point out, real quick, you've not seen any robots here.
Okay, well.
Interesting.
I will, well, yeah, maybe they don't even know robots. I will refer to Plex as my partner, because he is.
Okay.
And I will say that my partner here would like some kind of maybe a crystal contraption to allow communication into the astral plane of existence. I think you call it something. Maybe something that could interface between thoughts projected from the astral plane and technological communications equipment.
They talk amongst each other, and they tell you that the only thing this object that you're referring to does not have the facility to understand the psionic energy. However, it is possible that the priests could do an investiture. This is not something they do very often, but it's possible they could do something. But this isn't something these technicians know much about. They just mention the word investiture. This is something the priest would have to do.
I don't know, Flex. It's starting to sound awfully religious. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think that'd be a hard pass.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
don't want to end up accidentally baptizing you or something.
Right. So, but anyway, they will repair anything that you guys need on the ship. Any hull that you still need to get fixed.
Does
your
Plex need
engine.
repairing?
Yeah, any of that stuff.
Plex is badly damaged.
Yeah, they take care of all that.
Yay.
Any uses for anything on the ship? Ammo. I don't think your ship has guns that use ammo, but you have your uses on your ionic boosters.
That's right. We did use one of those, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, and so Plex, they will set you up with a new gun that's essentially your matter gun, but it probably looks different.
Perfect.
But it'll be the same mechanically as what you get with your move, so you have that back.
So instead of shooting superheated pellets of metal, it's supercharged pellets of crystals.
Sure, why not? Just kidding. All right, so let's switch back to the temple here. All right, so Vector and Aziz Safar are being led into this giant ziggurat thing. And you can feel as you're getting closer and closer the power of this giant crystal that's on the roof. And as you get inside the building, it kind of lessens a little bit. You feel like the building itself, when you're inside, is shielded to a certain extent from the power of this thing. So you feel like if you got super close to this thing, you probably wouldn't be able to handle it. So you are taken to, there's this kind of large audience chamber. It has lots of these statues that look very similar to the ones you saw back on Nirvana 3. They're just more kind of advanced and more precisely made statues. So the ones back there were kind of crude. These look like, you know, really like laser cut, you know, like, I mean, just more advanced construction. You know, there's about a dozen of these guys standing around in these robes, one of which is taller than the rest and has a more of a oval head. He's got some kind of a hat on. And they tell you that that is the High Adept. It says, you must speak to the High Adept of your reason for being here.
High Adept. The reason why we came here in the first place is because our suns in our worlds are dying, and this is due to your faction of what did they call them?
The Forsaken.
The Forsaken, who have tainted our stars and will make them obliterate our worlds. The Emperor found this other world where we found the stones, as we are now the stone bearers, and he was going to escape there and let all other humans die in the worlds. So my ask of you is to help us save our stars from going supernova, so that we can save the human race.
The Forsaken have been banned from our system. However, they are set up somewhere else, and they have hidden themselves from us. But they do not know your ways. So perhaps you would be able to find them, whereas we cannot. So I believe the first order of business will be to take the stones from you. And he doesn't mean take in a. I mean, he just means like
to offer the stone.
Absolve you of bearing the stone is kind of the way
burden of the stones.
Yeah. He's not meaning like that. So you will need to remove this manifestation, and then he will.
But I want to try to use it as a little bit of leverage to get him to agree to help in any way he can.
Oh, he's agreed to that. Yeah.
Okay. So
he'll
help us use your other adepts to reverse the plague on our stars.
Well, unfortunately, in order to do that, we would need to find where the Forsaken are and what they are planning to do. They did all of this without our knowledge.
Okay, so
basically what he's implying is
we have to stop them to stop the end of the.
And they'll help you as much as they can. However, the Forsaken know all about these guys' ways, so they have defenses against it. But if they don't know about you guys, right, they don't have a way to stop you guys. Maybe you can slip past.
Right.
So that's the idea. So they will definitely help you. They'll help you as much as they can. They'll provide you with, any kind of assistance they can give you. But there are limitations in terms of how much they can do. So the fact that you're here is good, and the fact that you brought these artifacts is even better, because that will help.
Okay.
If you had all three, it'd be even better. Anyway,
yeah. Well,
all right. So he's gonna perform this rite that will transfer out the stones, assuming you let him do that.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. And I guess at this point, this milestone is resolved to the find the adept of the ancients. You certainly did that.
Okay.
So everyone gets XP for that. Yay.
1 XP.
That's right. All right. And so when you you're back in your body. I'm assuming they brought your bodies here because otherwise this would be, you guys are back in your bodies, and you can see these kind of weird, kind of spherical stones just kind of floating above the high adept. So you think these are the kind of physical manifestations of what those things were that they don't look like those big rough hewn crystals from back on Nirvana 3. They look like little, they're like softball sized, these things. They're just kind of floating in the air. He says, even without the body stone, the presence of these artifacts does give us great resource to help you in your cause, which we will certainly do. So the thought, what remains of this to do with? They're kind of talking amongst each other now. They're like, what should we do with this interloper at the edge of our system? And they kind of look towards you guys that are there, and what does this emperor of yours want?
Well, he is a petty emperor who wants to control all of the universe as far as we can tell. He gives those that are allies fiefdoms that squabble over the scraps that he offers. He has an army at his disposal, and we live under his reign. So it is not a good. Humanity has not risen to the best place over these many centuries that we have been in existence.
That's not the last of it either. He's actually led a massive conspiracy to abandon the majority of his flock, taking only his select few for refuge in a new star that isn't being attacked by Forsaken, while leaving everyone else who he has is sworn by blood to protect, and he's just abandoned them to be extinguished as soon as the Forsaken can enact their plans.
Yeah, sure. That Fabian's not there, so.
Oh, whoops! I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I totally misunderstood that
That's
part.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought he was there too.
Well, we'll just say he's there. Why not? Because that's more interesting. So, I mean, there's only so much you can do with those technicians, right? And actually, they did.
Oh, that's right. I'm on technician duty.
They did tell you to come here, so we'll say you came here.
Yeah, and Flex also.
The ceremonies to extract the stones took a while. Okay, so then you guys are all together. Beautiful. All right. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, they do not have that sort of government anymore, but in their ancient past, they had empires, so they understand kind of what you're talking about. They sense that he is very powerful psychically, and so since they don't know much about him, they're just kind of leaving it. What you're from, his civilization. What do you think we should do with him?
Safara can explain quite a bit about the Emperor as the daughter of the Emperor. So if they have any specific questions that they need answered, she might be able to answer about his powers or troops or whatever it might be.
Very well. We will consult with this daughter. And so they're going to have a big confab. They're very communal sort of. So they don't make, like, one person doesn't make decisions. Even this high adept, he is an expert on this kind of stuff, but he's not like the ruler. He's just kind of So they will have a council, and they will discuss what to do next. So they will offer you guys lodging basically here, and whatever you need. And they will say in one solar cycle we will advise you as to the course of action.
1 year?
No, they mean a day.
Oh, one rotation. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, it'll take you a year to make this decision. I don't know. God damn. All right. Yeah. No, they mean a day. Yeah. So they'll, if you want, they'll set you up in a nice, this, big old building with a bunch of, you know, apartments, basically.
Okay. So I want to learn about their culture as much as I can while I'm here.
Yeah, totally. You can. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll actually assign each one of you like a kind of a handler. And that person's responsibility will basically be to acclimate you guys to this place and their culture. Yeah.
And I would like my handler to help me expand my mind into the psychic realm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they all have, different levels of psionic ability, but they all have it. Yeah. So they can. I mean, the person assigned to you isn't like a teacher, but sure, they can do a little bit of that. Sure. You also notice as you're interacting with them that they don't use genders to like refer to each other. They're all kind of like they. But you do notice they do have a biological difference, but they don't like use it to refer to each other. So you can tell that after interacting with them for a little bit, you can kind of figure out that some of them are the gestators and non-gestators. That's kind of how they refer to it. So, so they do have kind of a very rough biology that, like humans, in terms of that kind of stuff. But they don't appear to have any kind of, at least not a physical. They just don't relate to each other physically. That's all done mentally. Yeah. So it'll take you a lot longer than a day to get through all this, but you can certainly learn the basics.
Yeah.
But you get the sense that what they're going to probably do is give you guys a kind of a mission to go out and try to find these Forsaken guys. And by the way, while they're doing all this stuff, the Emperor's ship takes off, so it's gone.
Okay.
So he undoubtedly returned back to the home system to do who knows what.
Revel in his ultimate power.
Well, I mean, in a sense, he was kind of defeated. Maybe you're not sure what his purpose was for coming here. He certainly wasn't going to attack these guys, right?
So I think he followed in to sort of size up his enemies, and when he saw that there were 4 cities and 5 planets with things that it was sizable, and so he decided not to.
Yeah, I mean, he could return with a much bigger force. He brought a very token force. So he could bring way more stuff if he wanted to, now that he knows where it is.
So
yeah, he was probably only following Sapphira or something like that.
Actually, the Black Scorpion stuck a beacon on
okay.
On there.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Remember it now.
Yeah, they did that, yeah. But that's okay. So, so I think that's a good place to stop. It's I think we're good there. So, did you guys give yourself the XP for the last milestone?
I did.
Yeah.
So let's
upgrade.
So let's real quick go through our driving list just more time. I know we didn't do a ton of stuff there towards the end, but let's just real quick make sure. Well, Plex, why don't we start with you?
Oh yeah. Didn't do any of my relationships.
Okay.
Did I free someone from real or figurative? What?
Yes, your drive.
Yeah, free someone from real or figurative imprisonment.
You absolutely watched my back.
Yeah.
I was helpless.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you. Let me think. Did Plex free anybody? I don't think so.
I mean, I was freed from, but I don't know if he was the.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be a bit of a stretch. Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, so just 1 XP.
Yeah. Okay, what about Vector?
Lead your allies to victory against a significant enemy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess in a sense you sort of defeated the Emperor, sure.
See a rational plan through to its successful end.
Yeah, he did that.
I must keep Plex ready and available for action.
We'll have to work on that one. That seems like it's hard to get.
Yeah. I need to get. I'm sorry. Fabian must help me find the way out. I think so.
Yeah. We'll give you that.
All right. So that's 3.
All right, cool. And then what about Fabian?
I think my best shot. Well, I modified a vessel to improve it.
Totally, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that puts me over to a new advancement.
Cool.
As for everything else, I see. I don't think. No, I didn't. I didn't pilot crap this. this
Unfortunately, no.
have I? No.
Train
no.
vector and ship duties. I wasn't even human. This time.
No, unfortunately.
The Plex pushed me to try new things.
Well, we kind of did at the end.
Well, okay, here's the question.
Well, that was the intention.
Well, but did you let those ancient techs like do stuff to your ship?
Oh yeah, I definitely
Remember,
did.
they were offering to add weird stuff to your ship, like sonic interfaces and stuff. Did you let them do that?
Oh yeah, I was all for that.
Do you think Plex would have been into that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then we'll give it to you because again,
Woohoo.
you've been kind of shortchanged with XP this whole time. So.
That's well, you know, that's down to me, you know. But that's fine.
No, but
That's fine
all
either
right.
way.
Cool. All right,
Thank
so let's do the end of session move where you guys will get a little bit more XP, and then
Right.
yeah. So all right. So again, if you guys answer yes to these, you all get XP. Did everyone trigger at least one drive?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. Okay, so everyone gets XP for that. Did everyone trigger at least one relationship?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did Fabian?
The Plex pushing me to try new
Okay,
things.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, good. Okay. Did you survive despite incredible odds? This is a tough one.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
It was incredibly odd.
The Emperor.
yeah, although you got away from him without too much. I mean, you'd lost that one. I don't know.
I thought we were
I think it's
dead stuck
either way.
for a minute there when we were looking at the consoles and we had all of us in the astral realm. And
Yeah, I suppose the danger, if you guys had screwed around too long, the Black Scorpion would have entered that place and caused all kinds of trouble. So
Valeric was not psychic, couldn't touch the things, and the
yeah,
robot
okay.
couldn't touch the
All right.
thing.
All right, I'll give it to you. Did anyone undergo a transformation, physical, mental, or spiritual?
I feel like all the psychic stuff has had to transform Fabian a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. And did any of us make a new ally or turn an enemy into a friend?
Yes.
Make the ally different.
Yeah. You got these ancients on your side now, so yeah, totally. All right, and then for each milestone in the past, for good or ill, each PC gets 1 XP. So you guys did 2 more, so that's 2 more.
Wow. I got a ton.
Yeah, the end of session stuff you tend to get quite a bit. So yeah, so you guys should be in good shape there.
34.
I've got
Again, one off for another advance.
So how many total advances did you guys earn?
I have 4.
4? Okay.
Almost
I just-
5.
Oh wow! I just got my second.
No.
Yeah. Well, you know, but I'm halfway
no,
to the
no,
third.
you got your ship ones too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's
yeah,
true.
I guess that's another. Well, that's another 2 then.
Okay. And how many did Vector get?
So I got 50 XP and then 9 to the ship also. So I got a ton of XP.
Well, how many? So how many did you get though? Because we're counting the ship one for the ship. So how many did you get yourself?
So
4, 5?
50 is 45, so 5.
Okay. So a little bit less than average for everybody. Well, like I said, in my experience, I mentioned this in session 1, about an advance and a half per session is my experience. So a little bit less than that, but that's okay. 5 advances is still pretty good for most folks. So
I took integrated pilot next time we do evasive action in season 2. I'll be using my dex instead of the ship speed.
that's really good. Actually, that makes you a really good pilot. Actually.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to find a new line of work.
Oh, you're in charge of the vessel.
Well, the
Just
ship
keeping
is
up in
still
shape.
the ship is still yours. So
That's true.
it's still your default. mode
Actually,
is the ship, so.
that is going to free us some space and maybe boost up weapons or power or things like that.
Well, and Plex may not always be able to do that either. Maybe there's some reason that Plex has to do something else. So anyway, okay, cool. So I do want to mention real quickly about the game, of course. So Infinite Galaxies is going to be out. Core rules should be out soon. Waiting on my layout guy to finish all the work on the book. So last week, I think I mentioned that I've got like an 80-page proof so far, which is kind of about a third of the book-ish. So he's still working on it, but we're getting there. I'm hoping it will be available for purchase at Gen Con. And of course, the drive-through will have the PDFs and print-on-demand stuff. So hopefully by maybe late June, should have it ready. So you can go to infinitegalaxies.net to check it out. I am trying to buy infinitegalaxies.com, by the way. It looks like it might be available. So, I hate using .net, but the .com wasn't available. So that's actually that domain's going to expire pretty soon, so I'm going to try to grab it. Anyway, so any last thoughts on tonight's session or the game in general? Simon?
Well, it was a pretty cool series. The only thing I wish we could have done more was to interact with the like going to spaceport and buy equipment, barter with people, etc. That's the only part that I missed a little bit. But as soon as we hit the Vault V engine last session, it was really awesome.
Cool. Okay. Anything about the game, like the game system or any other?
Game system. I do miss a little bit XP by failing.
I've got one little thing. It's pretty minor, but the reserve for all of the different things is a little confusing.
Yeah.
So you had different names for each one of the different reserves. That way, one could be like your psionic reserve, and one could be your defensive reserve, and one could be whatever I think I had a reserve for.
Your issue orders, yeah.
Issue orders reserve, yeah. So maybe leadership reserve or something.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I understand. I think most characters won't have that going on, but I do. And there's a section of the book where it talks about if that does happen, to use like tokens of different colors or something, like if you're at a physical table. That may be one way to help deal with that. But yeah, that's definitely anything. Michael, any?
As far as the system is concerned, I feel like it's a pretty comprehensive overview of the sci-fi adventure genre. It's quite comprehensive, in fact. I will say the one drawback that I think I felt the most from the game system was much like Alejandro did. I felt a little constrained by the relationship assignments that were put in the pilot playbook. But that was a minor thing that threw me off just initially. But I feel like overall, it didn't stop me from enjoying the game and enjoying the relationships with the other characters. And sometimes a little abstractness kind of makes you a little more flexible and creative in how you assign meaning to what's set on the playbook. Overall, I enjoyed the game a lot. I enjoyed playing with everyone. I do want to give special props to Simon for handling the bulk of being throughout much of the tonight's session the only
physical actor.
Yeah, I thought you handled it really well, and just overall, I've just enjoyed gaming with everyone. Simon, you've been I've enjoyed your you were cracking me up a lot, just throughout the session. I think you just brought a really just kind of a nice general tone of levity that made the game all the more fun. And Ash, I think you were a pretty projected leader. Is that a good way of putting it? You're proactive, but maybe that's a better way of putting it.
Proactive,
I feel like where Vector was, you're never at a loss for a plan, with all this craziness going on. So I enjoyed watching that as well. And Rory, I just enjoyed the way you ran the game, and I appreciate getting a chance to sink into this to this system.
Cool. Well, so if you guys want to play again, I will find probably October, November. I'm going to take a little bit break from running for a little while, but maybe October, November, we can set up another one. So look for that on the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And
If you want, you can send a message to this group that way. Because I may not be looking at it at that time.
yeah. I'll definitely give you guys first dibs.
Okay.
Probably give you like a day or two notice before I post it. That way you can sign up. So.
Cool.
And I'm going to keep all this stuff. So all the notes and everything from season 1 are going to be on my Google Drive. They're not going anywhere. So if we need to refer back to anything, or I have all your emails in here, so it's easy enough for me to get you there if I need to. So,
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much, and
thank you
yeah,
for the game like series and the game.
all right, guys.
Yeah, thanks for running.
And all right, we'll talk to you later.
Yep. All right.
Bye.
See you all.
Bye.